What's going on, great people? On this segment of What the Fuck America, when I first seen this article, when I first heard about it, when I first saw the details, um, it was kind of wild to me. Like, when you guys see it, when you guys hear the story, you're gonna be like, "What the fuck?" Back when, well, first of all, let's talk about the article. Let's talk about what's going on. There were three teenagers that ran up on a bus, a school bus, and attempted to shoot and kill another teenager. They attempted to shoot him in the head. Um, Luckily for that teenager that was the victim, the gun jammed. It jammed three times. The team that was attempting to kill the other team, he pulled the trigger twice. I mean, three times. But each time the gun jammed. But if you're like me and you put yourself in that predicament and you go back a few years or however old you are, you go back to when you was a teenager, right? And you put yourself in that tense and ask yourself, what was you doing as a teen? What I was doing as a teen, of course there were, trouble here and there, but never in the sense of where never in a sense to where we felt that our lives would be in danger. Of course there were fights, jumped people, you got jumped, you had arguments, but it never got to the point to where you would have to fear for your life, especially on the school bus. When you get on school buses, man, you hang with your friends, you flirt with girls, you passing notes, you throwing paper balls, just being a kid. But nowadays, you see these kids, it seems like they're getting younger and younger, and they're getting into all types of things. They're breaking into cars, they're robbing people, they're killing, they're shooting, they're causing they're in the communities on a rampage. But I ask myself, what can a teenager do that's so bad that would put his life at jeopardy like this by other teenagers, right? I mean, is it a gang infested area, or like even then, like as a teenager, why are you involved in gangs at the age of 14? And I'm not saying that's the case in this situation, but what happened to the OGs in the neighborhoods that would see kids in the area and try to look after them and tell them right from wrong? Nowadays, it's like it's nothing. It's a free for all. Kids got guns and kids are doing whatever, and it seems like the adults are scared of the teens. Adults are scared of the children. So let's get into this article. I have the video pulled up, so let's check out the video.
Prince George's County Police have released photos of three very young suspects who they say forced their way right into a school bus Monday to try and kill a middle schooler.
That gun jammed, though, police said, and then the boys ran. So tonight there's a lookout for those boys and a whole lot of fear. Scott Broom is in Oxon Hill, where this happened on Monday, to tell us more. Scott?
Well, a measure of the anxiety tonight behind us here. We have Prince George's County Police at this intersection here to protect kids as they get off school buses late this afternoon. The incident we're talking about happened Monday as a school bus pulled up here at Sutler Drive and Iverson Street, and that's when these three kids pushed their way on board with a pistol in hand. Tonight, Prince George's County Police here to protect kids as they get off the bus, as pictures of three juveniles were released by authorities. The boys boarding that school bus Monday and pushing past the bus driver and an aide on board. One juvenile carrying a semi-automatic pistol. According to police, the gunman put the gun to the chest of a middle schooler and repeatedly tried to shoot, but the gun was jammed. So the gunman used it to beat the victim, who survived with cuts and bruises. Police say the attackers then ran. This grandmother of middle schoolers said she lives in the neighborhood.
I'm just not understanding how these kids getting guns and stuff.
Do you fear for these children?
I fear for the kids and us as well. Because what if a adult would have stepped in and tried to stop it and the gun didn't jam?
Both the bus driver and the aide on board during the incident are so terrorized they've taken leave, according to fellow driver Martin Diggs, who's president of the union local representing drivers.
But they're afraid to come out of the house because the suspects that got on the bus, their faces were covered. So they don't know who these people are. This particular issue that happened on the school bus is one incident of many incidents.
Diggs said school employees are constantly threatened with injury because of an epidemic of fighting on buses and in schools. Diggs said the student who was targeted attended the non-traditional middle school program at Edgar Allan Poe School in Suitland. Diggs noted the school system has cameras in the majority of its bus fleet.
See, that alone, it's to the point to where you got the employees, you got the personnel taking leave because they're terrified for their lives. Some people may want to blame gun laws, and sure, we all can say that regulations, stricter regulations are needed for guns. But is that really going to solve the issue? People out here in these streets know how to obtain guns without going into gun shops and register for them or getting them the correct way, right? A regular civilian may walk up into a gun shop and they're not worried about their background or, having a background check or showing their ID or anything like that, because we're only purchasing guns for protection, to protect ourselves, to protect our families, to protect our households and belongings. But a criminal, when they're trying to obtain a gun, they don't want their ID or any background check or anything attached to that weapon because they're planning to use it within some type of crime. So what good would it make for laws to be stricken on gun purchases? If a person is mentally ill or if a person is a criminal, they're going to find a way to get their hands on a gun some kind of way, whether it's in the open or under the radar. But back to the subject of teenagers, teenage students getting to the point to where they don't know how to settle their beef with their hands. They don't know how to fight. They would rather go get masks and guns and hop up on a school bus, 3 of them, and attempt to take this young man's life. What type of household are these kids raised in? Like, what can we really point the finger at? Is it the neighborhood? Is it the parents? Is it the environment? Is it the influences? What is it really that's causing these kids to act this way? Because when I was younger, like I said, I didn't think about killing anyone. That was the last thing on my mind. I didn't think about killing anyone. If we had to, we'll fight. To get into some BS, we'll, some jumping here and there. We got jumped some people, but never to the fact of where it was gunplay needed. I don't know, man. It seems like the world is just, it's a war going on between good and evil, and it seems like guns are very accessible. Not blaming guns, but there's no security amongst these campuses. Anyone can just walk up on a campus, a school bus, in the movie theater, in the medical center, medical office, or anything with a gun. And it's like it's a war amongst ourselves as citizens within the United States, but yet our country is sending billions of dollars to Ukraine every other month for their aid, and just overlooking all the issues we have going on right here in our own backyard. So I think the government can instead of making a topic about gun laws, use some of that aid, use some of that funding to increase the security measures at some of these places, man. Because I think, me myself personally, I think a lot of these areas are too open and are just prone to have any type of accident happen, any type of shooting. But y'all get in the comment section, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Hit that like button if you want. Subscribe if you want. Like I said, let me know what you think. This is What the Fuck America.